I am your host, FatDag, and you're listening to WhysAdvice. My weight loss journey failed when I focused on how. It wasn't until I switched my focus to why that I truly transformed myself. Join the show on the web at FatDag.com and follow along on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, all at WhysAdvice. Send in your comments, your questions, and your celebrations, and I'll include them as part of the show. But before we dive in, remember, when you're out of points, stop eating points. Hey, I'm honored to be your wingman as we walk through this journey together because I believe in you. Here we are, episode 113 of WhysAdvice, and I want to let you know something funny that happened about my day. As you know, I'm a big fan of setting attendance goals. Do something little every day that you can continue that builds a habit, because those habits will carry you to a lifestyle change that you didn't even know was possible. That happened to me today. It was very interesting. I do a meeting on Thursday night, so I lead my meeting, and I have a routine that I leave my meeting, and by the time the meeting is over, my family has already had dinner, so there's no sense coming home, so I always go out to eat for dinner. I go to my old standby Chick-fil-A. That's kind of my Thursday evening dinner. And so I go there. I get the nuggets. I'm a sucker for their nuggets. So they're 9 points for the 12-count nuggets. No barbecue sauce. I do not get the French fries. I get a fruit cup. In my fruit cup, I ask for only strawberries. And I get a bottle of water. So it's a 9-point dinner. It works out very well. I enjoy it. But tonight I walked in, and the first thing I said as I'm walking in, I'm like, man, you know what? I'm doing really well. I really would like to, I think I want some French fries. So I walked in full intention, 100%. I'm getting the nuggets. I'm going to go for a large fry. I'm going to have a water. I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to track it. I'm going to move on. So I walk in, and with that intention, I walk up to the register, and the nice gal behind the register, as I get to the front, she goes, hey, let me guess. You want a fruit cup with only strawberries and a bottle of water and nuggets, right? And I looked at her, and I'm like, Yep, that's what I want. And we laughed for a second. I didn't tell her what was really going on in my head, but I've done such a great job building a healthy habit and building healthy routines that other people that I interact with frequently understand it as well. And so without hesitation, she knew that I wanted the fruit cup with only strawberries, and that's what she gave me. And it was a great dinner. Kept me on plan, kept me on point, 9 points, and So I could have had the grilled nuggets. Sure I could have, but one of the things that I enjoy, I really like those nuggets. They're worth all 9 points for me. And so they're so worth it for me that I'm willing to go without the fries. I'm willing to go without the barbecue sauce. I'm willing to go without the ketchup because I want the real deal. That's one thing I'm not going to sacrifice on. I've worked it into my plan, and I've done it for a long time. But the whole bottom line is that I've built a habit. And again, the habit is noticeable to other people, and that is what kept me on plan tonight, is I was saved by the habit. So build your own good habits, and as you build your good habits, the people around you will start noticing, and they will react, and they will help you once they understand that you're serious. I can tell you, if I was occasionally ordering the fruit cup with strawberries and then occasionally getting the French fries and kind of mixing it up, then that poor gal would have had no clue what I was going to order, and she would have just accepted whatever I ordered. But because I was so consistent, so regimented in my routine, that she knew as I walked through the door what I was going to have. Out of Pennsylvania, Kate writes in and says, hi, FatDag. I just recently started listening to your podcast. I have listened to about 4 episodes, and I'm looking forward to hearing more. I know you talk a lot about your why and finding your focus when it comes to food. I wanted to ask you about the fitness part. I started Zumba class a few months prior to starting Weight Watchers. I joined Weight Watchers in January 2016 to prepare for being my sister's maid of honor at her August wedding. I lost 63 pounds, 55 when the wedding day arrived, and I achieved lifetime in October of 2016. All this time, I was going to Zumba at least once or twice a week. In June, I stopped going. My excuse was that I was playing softball on Tuesday nights and my schedule at work changed. I used to work 9:30 a.m. to 6 and drive right after work to my 7 o'clock class. Now I get out of work at 4:30. I used the excuse that I wanted to enjoy being outside while the weather was nice and I had more of my night to enjoy. I don't know if my routine was getting stale or if I had lost motivation. I still track religiously every day, and I've gotten the most blue dots in the last 3 months than I have in the past. My weight has also stayed the same, which I'm actually very happy about. I still go for a walk on my 2 15-minute breaks during the workday, and sometimes at night after dinner. So that part didn't change. I would like to get back into Zumba and also yoga, which I used to love to do. Each week, I seem to keep pushing it off, and soon the summer will be over. I feel like I need help finding my new why for fitness. I was so focused and motivated to go to Zumba and lift weights at the gym because I wanted to look good in my maid of honor dress. I feel like since the wedding, I've slowly lost my motivation for fitness activities, even though once I'm there, I actually do enjoy the classes. Well, thanks for listening. Have a great day, Kate, out of Pennsylvania. Kate, congratulations on hitting Lifetime. And throughout your whole email, you kind of snuck that in the middle, but that's the piece we're celebrating. You've hit a point in your journey where you're now Lifetime. Everything you're doing is helping you maintain that weight. So let's celebrate that first. That's an amazing accomplishment, and you need to really, really understand that everything you've done got you there. That's amazing. Now, you started off with your why, and your why was you wanted to make sure that you looked good for your sister's wedding. You wanted to look good in that wedding dress or that maid of honor dress. I get that. A lot of folks, when we start this journey, that's a similar version of our why. We want to look good for an event or for a specific reason for something specific like that. And what happens is when that event comes, we look good. If we make our goal, we look good for the event that we were losing weight for. At the event, it almost always begins to unravel. Because at the event, you're not going to gain all your weight back at the actual event. So the event, you just kind of enjoy the event and you go on. And then you kind of, from that point on, you just kind of drift away. I'm incredibly proud of you for recognizing that in your own journey. When you hit Lifetime and you got to that point where you said, hey, wait a minute, I want to do something different. You were working out all the time to satisfy your initial why, and now you realize that's not happening. But what I can tell you is based on what you wrote in your email, you're actually still getting a little bit of exercise in. It's just not your 2 a week Zumba class. You're walking most evenings. You're going on walks on your break. You have to find things that you enjoy. You're doing a great job of getting it done, but we need to figure out, what does fitness give you? When you work out at Zumba class, what were you getting from that you're now missing? I like to go, when I work out now, for me, it's a celebration. It's a celebration when I run a mile and a half in a time that I'm not used to running it in. Man, I celebrate the entire time of like, man, can you believe I just ran a mile and a half in 11 minutes? That's amazing. And so I celebrate the fact that there's things that I can do now that I haven't been able to do for years. I want you to dig into that celebration feeling. When you go to a Zumba class, I want you to figure out, could you have done this before you started Weight Watchers? No. So you celebrate while you're there, and you got to find the joy in whatever activity that you are. You need to reward your brain for doing this activity and say, man, I just did that. And, and so you got to the point in your journey where you kind of took that for granted a little bit because you were just used to going. And that's why we write down some of this non-scale victory stuff and read it often. Is because for you, this Zumba class became so easy, so complacent that it was just something that you were doing. So I want you to enjoy it, but I want you to also remember that at one point you weren't able to do this. But last but not least, I want you to find something that you truly enjoy. Find a motivation team, find an accountability team, find other people who like doing the same things you do and do it together and enjoy it. That's where the joy is, because there was a time when you weren't enjoying any of it. Kate, thank you so much for your email. Lisa writes in and says, hi, FatDag. This is a celebration and accountability email rolled into one. First, the celebration. I'm an online-only member and a daily weigher. As of yesterday, I'm down unofficially 10%. Tomorrow is my official weigh-in, and that goes in my tracker. I don't anticipate any gains by tomorrow, but even if there is a small gain, I'm claiming 10% because by the time this celebration hits the air, I know 10% will be in the bag, and I'll be shooting for the next mini goal. Now, for the accountability. This morning, I shared my 10% victory with my trainer. He immediately started tapping on his phone screen and he says, well, if you want to lose X more pounds and you keep going like you have been, you'll hit your goal in next X number of months. I paused and I took a breath. Well, you see, this is a behavior that I've successfully avoided on this, my final weight loss journey. In the past, I've said to myself, oh, if you lose a pound a week, then you'll weigh X by whatever date. I've even gone so far as to fill in a calendar with the weight I think I should be by that week, counting down every week by a pound for months and months in advance. Then, when a week or two would go by with a loss that was less than a pound, or maybe even a gain, suddenly my mind said I was behind. It wouldn't take long before I was discouraged and then I'd quit. To make matters worse, there would be these stupid numbers on my calendar counting down every week and reminding me of my failure. Now, back to where I paused. After the pause and my breath, a tiny little FatDag showed up on my shoulder and said, this is how I responded to my trainer. I don't know what my goal is yet. I'll know when I get there. I'm not worried about how long it takes. I figure I can control what food I eat and I can control my workouts, but I cannot control what the stupid metal monster chooses to say to me when I step on it. Tiny FatDag, over and out. This is how I made it to 10%, and this is how I will make it to goal. If there is no deadline, then I'm not setting myself up for failure. I really struggle with trying to push the numbers out of my mind on my commute to work. I don't even want to think about a goal date, let alone write it down. I will keep resisting the urge to try to forecast my future weight loss, and eventually, I will be at goal. At that point, it won't be an issue anymore. Thanks, FatDag, for letting me get that off my chest, and thanks for being a great wingman. Well, Lisa, as you know, I'm completely honored to be your wingman. And I'm going to disagree with you right out of the gate. You say you don't want to forecast your future weight loss, and eventually you will be at goal. Let's think about that. Everything in your email tells me you are at goal. You hit your 10%. Your 10% has proven that you know how to work the program. It's proven that you can pick yourself back up. It's proven that you can move forward. You're figuring out a way to work out. You're getting a workout in. You're routinely working out. You're eating right. You're clearly at goal. The metal monster doesn't know it yet, and it's okay because the metal monster is just a machine. Your brain is at goal, and it doesn't matter how long it takes for the scale to catch up. If you continue doing everything you're doing exactly the way you're doing it, you're going to continue to have the same success you had. Your body will adjust, and your body will put you at an ideal weight that it needs to maintain that perfect balance. You've accepted this as a way of life. You've changed your lifestyle, and that's why you're getting these rewards. So great job, Lisa. Now, again, 10%, we talked about 10% means you can hit goal. If you hit 10%, you can hit goal. Your trainer sounds like a great guy, sounds like he's trying to motivate you, but he's missing the piece on how to motivate you. I'm going to go on a limb here. I'm going to say find a new trainer. That might be a little harsh, and maybe you and I will talk offline about this at some point, but you need to find someone who understands what your goal is, who understands your mindset, and works with that framework to push you. If he's pushing you in a framework that you're not in, at some point, something is going to happen and the two of you aren't going to jive. And I don't want that to happen for you. And I want you to recognize that sooner than later. So I've done the same thing as you with the calendar. I'm very proud to see that you ditched this behavior, but I've done the same thing in previous weight loss attempts for me. I built the charts. I built the thing saying if I lose a pound a week or 2 pounds a week, by this date, I'll be this point. And you're right. It is absolutely painful to watch when you start missing those numbers. We do not have the ability to lose weight. None of us have that ability. I can't say I want to lose weight. The best I can say is I want to work out. I want to eat healthy. That's the best I can do. And when I do that, my body makes the adjustment to lose the weight. So keep doing what's working for you. You clearly understand the journey. You clearly are working it perfectly. And when I say perfectly, what I mean is you're perfectly working it, if that makes sense. It means that there are days where you weren't exactly perfect, but you followed them up with days where you were back in the right mindset. To me, that's what it's all about. You are clearly getting it done. It's a complete honor to walk with you, hold your hand, and believe in you as you now believe in yourself. So, Lisa, thank you for your email. Next up, Misty writes in, says, by the time you read this, my beach vacation will be over. The last time I was at the beach was 4 years ago. I've lost about 27 pounds and I still have 48 to go. I've been complacent in my journey since March. I've lost the same 3 to 4 pounds for 4 months now. I have so many whys: to go to the beach and to be comfortable in a bathing suit. I missed that one. To set a good example for my 2 daughters, to be happy in my own skin and with my appearance, to wear the clothes I want and not have to just wear what fits, to be able to say I'm done losing weight, to be able to go to the doctor and not be in the obese group, to rock my daughter's senior night, etc., etc. I just can't seem to get back to the plan, to truly track, to truly do it the way I need to in order to lose the rest. What advice do you have for someone that had been stuck in the complacency trap for so long? Thanks in advance, Misty. And then your PS is beautiful. It says, PS, I'm still going to have a great time at the beach and not worry about that bathing suit, but focus on the time with my daughters. Yeah, Misty, that's the most important part in your email. And so along this journey, there comes a point where, we all sign up for a reason. You don't accidentally join Weight Watchers. So you deliberately join for a reason. That reason is your why. It takes a long time for us to figure it out. The easiest way to start figuring this stuff out is to start, number 1, loving everything about you. And your PS sums it up. It says you're still going to go have a great time at the beach. You're not going to worry about what the bathing suit looks like, but you're going to focus on the time with your daughter. That's time you can't get back. So many of us in this journey, we've had these moments where we allow our own brains to kind of ruin the moment. Man, I'm glad for you and for your daughter's sake that you didn't do that. So great job there. Because when you love yourself, you can love everything about yourself, and then you can then say, I still would like to make a change though. I love myself, but I can improve upon this amazing thing I already have. I can improve in this area. You have so many whys and you've written them all down. I want you to dig a little deeper into them. I want you to write down what you think each of those means. Take each one of those one by one and give me give a paragraph to yourself about each one. Describe the feeling of when you no longer have that. What does being happy in my own skin mean? What does being able to wear clothes that you want and not fit, what does that mean? When you say you're done losing weight, what does that feel like? How do you know when you get there? When you walk into the doctor's office and the doctor says you're no longer obese, what is that feeling? What do you envision that feeling like? If you take each one of these topics and you dig a little deeper, physically write it down with a pen and paper, use your creative process to dig deep in that brain and pull this information out, because those whys are powerful and they'll get you to goal. And so then, once you firmly establish them, I want you to go back and listen to episode number 72. Episode number 72 is commonly referred to as the Complacency episode. You may have already listened to it. I want you to listen to it again. And then when you're done with that, take the things you just wrote down with the knowledge you just gained from episode 72, and then start asking yourself a series of questions. The next time you sit down for breakfast, before you open your app, before you open the pantry, before you figure out what you're going to have to eat, you say, okay, it's breakfast time. I understand what being able to wear anything I want looks like. Do I rather have that, or would I rather have this for breakfast? Okay, moving on. Okay, and now that I know if I go to the doctor's office and I'm no longer in the obese group, would I rather have that feeling that I just wrote down, or would I actually rather go out to lunch with friends today and just be unmindfully, eating? If you base every decision on your food and your fitness from this point on against the whys that you wrote down on paper, you will begin to understand how much willpower you have and how you can actually change your entire behavior by judging and balancing them up against your why. That's why we ask you to keep your whys close by, because I want you to every day, every second of the day, every meal, understand what your why is, and then make that decision. Would I rather have this or that? You don't have to get it right every time. You have to just get it right more often than you get it incorrect. You can have anything you want on the plan. What I want you to have is a clear understanding of your whys, and I want you to get to goal. Misti, you can get there. You didn't lose 27 pounds on accident. Whatever you did to lose 27 pounds clearly works, and you can continue to work that plan. So keep up with it. Go listen to 72, write down your whys, and then let me know when you hit goal. Next up, out of Altoona, Pennsylvania, Lisa writes in and says, "Hi, Dag. I'm an online-only member with no real support system. I have just started doing the Shaun T's Insanity workout this week, and I thought I would be releasing the pounds with the amount of sweating that I've been doing. I am gaining weight. I have increased my protein and my water intake. I'm staying in my point range. I'm not sure what I need to do next to start the scale going in the right direction. Do you have any ideas? I look at Connect, but I'm really not sure how to post or talk to people on social media. Any help would be appreciated. Thank you in advance. I'm 5'8" and I weigh 193 pounds. I have lost almost 28 pounds in 3.5 months. My goal weight is 145, give or take." Lisa. Well, Lisa, out of the gate, you're an online-only member, which is very, very difficult to do. Congratulations on being able to get down 28 pounds as an online-only member. That's an amazing accomplishment. When you say you have no real support system, you do have a support system. You absolutely do. You have an entire phone full of people who are just waiting to help you out on this journey. The beautiful thing about Connect, if you're not, I know you said you're not really in there. I want you to take that first step and get in there. Connect is an amazing, supportive community. The most beautiful thing about Connect is everything that's said inside that community is completely private. No one else can see it. The only people who can see and read what's going on in there are people who are current, paid, active Weight Watcher members. So they can completely relate to your journey. You have an amazing support system that you just need to tap into. Extreme worst case scenario, get on the live chat feature of the app, reach out to someone who's a leader to help you walk you through that process. And if for some reason those two things aren't working, shoot me an email. Let's dig deeper into getting you the support you need. You need support on this journey. You absolutely do. It's hard to do this alone. You already have the challenge of doing it as an online only member. The good news for you is I've seen there are many successful people who are doing this online only. You can easily be one of them if you tap into the right support network, and it's a support network exists and is ready for you. Now, again, you've lost 28 pounds in 3.5 months. That's amazing progress. That's amazing focus. You're clearly getting it done and understand how to get it done. You just started increasing your intensity with the Shaun T Insanity workout. Which means you've been sweating a lot, which means you're drinking more water, which means you're eating more protein. You need to now start looking at eating your fitness points or eating your weeklies. You need to figure out where and that is. There's a great plan out there. Steve Sprengel, I don't know if you've figured out him, but hashtag SSPRENGLE23 has developed a plan, and there are many people who say this is the piece that kind of busts them out of the plateau. So you have now completely changed your plan. You've started, you lost 28 pounds, and you added some intense workout. So it's time now for you to mix it up a little bit. I want you to work on eating your weeklies. I want you to mix them into the plan, whether you do it by eating the blue dots or whether you follow Steve's plan by mixing it up completely and shaking it up to get it done, staying well within the guidelines of the Weight Watcher program. Steve's plan does that. It mixes it up pretty well, but he keeps you on the plan, and I want you to tap into that. And that's why you need to get on Connect, because information like that is at your fingertips waiting to be there. So what I want you to do is keep doing what you're doing. I want you to, 28 pounds, I want you to pause for a second. I want you to realize that again, like I said a couple seconds ago, that doesn't happen by accident. You're doing phenomenal work. Don't get discouraged. Let's figure out how to get you all the way to goal. You can get there. We are here for you. Lisa, thank you for your email. Just before the show, Calan on Facebook wrote in and says, "Hey, Mike, I got a question. How long is the drive for your golf trip that you go to in Tulsa? How do you get activity and eat healthy while you do that?" Well, Calan, I imagine with Labor Day coming up, that's a question that a lot of us are going to kind of ask is, we're going to spend a lot of time in our cars. And so, it's a great question. My road trip down to Tulsa, I do it a couple times a year. It's a 9-hour road trip. And if you think about it, it sounds so crazy, right? And so how do you stay on plan on a 9-hour road trip? Well, it's the same way I stay on plan on a 9-hour workday. I eat a good breakfast in the morning, so at some point I have lunch, and at the end of the day I have dinner. And I choose things at all 3 of those meals that are healthy and they're on plan. Road trips are even easier because on road trips, you actually have the ability to, there's a Subway about every 3 miles down the highway. So lunch is an easy one. You can have Subway for lunch and get something knocked out, but you can start your morning with a nice healthy breakfast and you can end at the end of the day somewhere at a nice place and have a good dinner. So it's not the fact that you're sitting in a car for 9 hours, because again, you're still going to be sitting at a desk for 9 hours or sitting at your job for 9 hours. So you just have to really just reframe the mind and say, you know what? I get 3 meals a day. I get so many points a day. And at that point I work in some snacks, and I work in some normal meals along the way. You can eat all kinds of healthy things. And, for instance, if you go to Subway, you get a sandwich, but just a kind of a trick to help you out. What I do is I take my 6-inch sandwich, I have them cut it in half, I have them take the bread out, they scoop out the bread of the inside of the bread. I still eat the white bread. I have them scoop it out. I cut it in half. I move all the meat and the veggies to one side, and I have a 3-inch sub with double meat. It ends up being about 7 to 8 points, and it fills me up because it's plenty of protein. So something like that is just how you do it. You got to find these things that I don't consider that a trick, because I will continue doing that for life because it fills me up. I don't ever need to go back to eating a foot-long sandwich. It's just absolutely too much food for what I'm trying to do. It doesn't align with my goals. And what I want to know is, when you work the plan and when everything you're doing aligns with your goals, and you ask yourself, would I rather have pizza or would I rather make goal? Would I rather have chocolate cake or would I rather have goal? Would I rather have this bag of chips or would I rather make goal? If you choose making goal more often than not, you can have success. The times you don't choose it, you simply eat mindfully and you say, today I do want the cake, but I'm choosing it mindfully. It's a once in a rare occasion. I'm going to get it done. And then the next few times you have to then choose goal. And if you do that, you can reach goal and you can celebrate. This weekend coming up, it's a 3-day weekend. You can stay on plan all 3 days. There's no different than the week. I want you to get it done. I want you to write in and celebrate when you get the goal. Let's share your celebrations on the air. Go to FatDag.com, click on Listen Now, send in your celebrations, your comments, your questions. I'll work them in as part of the show. I want you to email in your celebrations because I really want you to be proud of what you're doing. So that's going to do it for this time. Remember that losing weight and getting healthy has nothing to do with luck. You have to remain disciplined and focused. Set your sights on your goal and go after it. I wish you good focus.